Hello and welcome back to Salle Blackboard Learns, and we will continue to add assignments in this video. So I'm going to show you how to add two other types of assignments. So we're going to go to Content, and in Content we're going to go to the second learning module, so Class Chapter 2, Matter and Change. This is the second chapter, and we're going to add to this learning module. So I'm going to add an assignment. And I'm going to add an assignment this time. And once again, I showed you in one of the earlier videos how to add HTML. So this assignment is going to be an HTML assignment. And so I'm going to go ahead and chapter 2 playlist. And I already typed this in when I practiced. So it's the chapter 2 Sophia playlist due 9/7/2014 at 11 p.m. And I'll come down here to the instructions box and assignment files, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to my Sophia site, and here's the embed code. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight that and get the embed code, so copy, and I'm going to come back here to create assignment, and I'm going to go to HTML, and when I go to HTML I will get the entry box, so Command B will give me my copy. So here's the copy of that information, and I will go ahead and update, and there is the Sophia box that will appear in the student view. And I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. Now I'm not going to add a file, and I'm going to add the date. Now the date is September 7th, so we're going to go ahead and open that up on September 7th at 11:59 p.m. and there are 5 tutorials worth 3 points each, so this is a 15-point assignment. And once again, submission details, it's going to be an individual assessment submission, single attempt, grading options. I'm going to put this in as neither of these. I'm not going to have anonymous grading nor delegated grading, and I'm going to have this only as a score, and I'd like this included in the grade center. Now, something that is key, we're going to go back up to the top, and since this is not submitted through Blackboard, I'm going to actually put at the top of the information, I'm going to put this playlist is due, and I'm going to go ahead and bold this, September 7th, 2014 at, and I always put 11 p.m. even though in the Blackboard I put 11:59, and the reason I put 11 p.m. is when the students see that, hopefully they start it before 11:15, and we'll hopefully get it done on time. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to also say, please do not add anything to the right submission box below. And actually I'm going to take the bold off of this, and I'm going to just simply bold the right submission and the do not, and typing is not my forte, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that, and I'm going to also underline the do not, just to remind students of what we're doing, not to do it. So they'll still get the right submission box, but because this is actually done on the Sophia website, and I will pull the grades from the Sophia website, they do not need to submit anything here on Blackboard. But by putting it in an assignment like this, it will actually be added to the calendar because I had the due date here in this file. So I'm going to go ahead and submit this. And when we submit this, as always, I always go up here to the little eyeball, the swirling arrows, and I choose that so I can see what the students are going to see. I check my content, and I put that in the Chapter 2 Matter and Change learning module, and here is that information. So notice they still get, oh, that is the elements, and more elements. Let's go back to content and see what, I must have clicked the wrong one. So go ahead and Matter and Change. Oh, here we have the Chapter 2 Sophia playlist. So Chapter 2 Sophia playlist. So notice they get the due date, the points possible, and here is that playlist, and they can click on the playlist, classifying matter, and that will bring up the tutorial that they will have to do. So chemistry, classifying matter, here's the video they have to watch. Over here are the quizzes they take as they watch the videos, and here are the PDFs that are associated with that video. So this is one way to add an HTML assignment if you are using any outside sources to get assignments into Blackboard. So once again, I'm going to exit preview, and I am not going to add anything that I may have done while previewing this. And we are back in my Chapter 1 of our Chemistry Honors Period 1. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a second assignment to that. So content. And this assignment I'm going to add will be actually in Learning Module 2 as well. And I'm going to add an assignment. And this is actually a tutorial. And this tutorial is by Robin Insay. Robin Insay. And it is Science and Wonder. And what I've done is I've actually copied this assignment from a previous Moodle assignment, and I've created a Word document here. So I'm just going to copy and paste. So I'm going to grab this information from the Word document. I'm going to Command C for copy, and I'm going to go ahead and shrink that. And so in this box I'm going to Command V, and there is that information. Now notice I have the link here. So I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to go up here to the link. And that link is here. So that means when the students click on that, the link will be present. So I'm going to go ahead and update. Okay. And you know what? I would actually like to add that video into this assignment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the TED site, and I'm going to call up Robin Insay. And Science versus Wonder. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. And I'm going to go to the embed. So that would be this link right here. And I'm going to go ahead and highlight the embed code, Command C. And I'm going to come back here to the Create Assignment. And I'm going to highlight right there so it will be above the information. I'm going to go to HTML again, and this is the HTML code for, so I'm going to space down, and then I'm going to add Command V, and then I'm going to update. So now the students will actually get that information. Now I'm going to make this assignment due on September the 14th. So I'm going to go to August, September the 14th, and this is a 15-point assignment, and it is submit individual, yes, single attempt, yes, grading options, We're not going to make it anonymous. We're not going to make it delegated. We're going to score this as a score. We're not going to have a secondary grade. It is going to be part of the grade center, and we're going to go ahead and submit. So there's the playlist that we created early as an assignment, and here is that TED, and that's the TED-atorial, Robin Insay Science and Wonder. And you know what? That video is actually called Science versus Wonder, so I'm going to go ahead and make this versus Wonder, so it is correct. So we're going to go ahead and change that. And I'm going to go ahead and add due 9/14/2014 at 11 p.m. So here we have that information. I'm going to go ahead and scroll through this just to make sure all the information is still there. And it is, so we're good. So I'm going to scroll back up to the top of the page, choose Submit. And as always, I like to make sure to see what the students will see. And the students will go to Content. They're going to be in Learning Module 2 for Chapter 2. So there is the first assignment we added earlier on the first video. Here's the Sophia assignment that we just added, and now here's the TED-atorial assignment, Sunday, September 14th, possible points 15. There's the video, Science versus Wonder, and here is the information for that assignment, and here is their submission box. Now remember, with this submission box, remind students that they have to click on Write Submission in order to add their information, to upload their information, or they can write it in a Pages or a Word document and then from their computer upload it, and make sure they understand that the Add Comments box at the bottom is if they have any questions for you or comments on the assignment. This box down here is not where they submit their assignment. So we're going to go ahead and leave that blank. Let's go and look at the calendar, and the calendar has, and we're going to go to September, and let's check a September date, and September 14th was the date that we were working in, and there's nothing in Student View right now, and the reason there's nothing in Student View right now is because the students don't have access to this yet. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to My Content, and we will check the calendar from My Content, and here we have July, so I'm going to go to September, and I'm going to click on the 14th, and so there is that TED-atorial. Remember, green is my chemistry class and blue is my environmental science class, and so we added that TED-atorial. We have the Chapter 2 playlist. They have their elements, and then we have the dimensional analysis assignment. So those are our 4 assignments that we added in these 2 videos. So hopefully this video was helpful in helping you look at ways to add assignments to your class, and I wish you luck in continuing to work on your Blackboard.